to do. So I've shown you booleans and strings and ints, at least a peek, right? We'll talk more about these types for sure later.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you kind of wait. What am I doing here? I want to do a comment, right? So you kind of saw that strings are things like A and ABC and whatever, things like this, right? And then ints are things like 1, 2, 3, 100, whatever. Like booleans are either true or false. Well, I need to do this, right? This is how you type things. Okay, and then these are the types we know so far, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's enough for now. Okay, we also have number, which are 1.0 to 1.5, etc. Right? You can do like okay, and then go ahead.
Does 1.55 fall into the same category as number?
You said
Do I have, like-
1.55,
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can add as many.
Okay.
It's the same thing, right? These are all numbers, but you need to be careful because, for example, if you write a function from so let's say add, right? And if you do, well, add numbers.
You have a type. Yeah.
xy equals 8. So you can use the same plus thing and it works just as well. But then if we try to call it with 1 and 2, you'll get an error because 1 and 2 are integers. Exactly,
Yeah,
right? So and you can do 2.5 if you want, but even if you don't, like even if this is 0, you have to type it explicitly because they're different types, right? They're different things. Okay. Yeah, and I guess like since you're not really like if you're a JavaScript developer, I'd have to explain that things like coercions don't happen automatically because in JavaScript, for example, plus works for strings, and then if you add two numbers, it converts them to string or something silly. Or if one of them is string and the other is number, there's a lot of weird rules in JavaScript. So, but since you're more used to like statically typed languages like C# and Java, you're kind of like okay, you understand that things don't. Like have a type, then types are important somewhat. So I guess that's not really something that we need to go through right now. And again, like this thing which is called currying or like functions. Again, I think we'll talk a lot about it later. Just trying to think about what else could we be like other examples we could do right now. Of things that are reasonable.
Is that?
I think your microphone is getting cut off quite a bit. I couldn't hear.
Wait. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So someone mentioned the pursuit like 20 minutes ago, or is that too complicated? No.
Okay. So pursuit is. Let me see how can I show you that. So I think you need to look at the stream for that.
Yeah, I am looking at it.
Actually, I need to exit this. Oh, why are you annoying me? Okay, there we go. I'm not sure. I think it's F11 to exit this mode. Yeah, there we go. It's okay. Purescript has this website which is called pursuit.purescript.org. I'll paste it for you there just to have the link. And here you have this is a great documentation site, but you kind of need to know how it works first, right? So I'm not sure if it's going to be very, very helpful for you right now. But
Okay.
let me see if this could be useful for like at a beginner level thing. Because I think it doesn't do very well with monomorphizing things, and that's of course I don't expect you to know what that is, but I'm talking to people who are suggesting it. Because for example, we kind of seen that the function from string to string to string is the one that the concatenate one, right? The this one, greater, smaller. Why can't I type this one, right? Smaller, greater, right? The way we concatenated strings here. Where is it? Like this one, right? But then if you try to look for this, so the cool thing about Purescript is that you can type here's function declarations and find where they exist. But the problem is if you're looking for something too specific, it will not find it, right? Because the correct type for this is something that's a bit more complicated. It's semi-group A to A, right? But it's kind of useless, right? Because if you already know this, then you probably know the name of the function, right?
Yeah.
It's not even finding it.
Okay.
At least not the operator version. I think this has the, well, no, because this is for, so what's this? It's in prelude and it's a semi-group append. Okay. Right, so like this is super useful once you kind of like maybe after 2 or 3 lessons when you will learn about how types actually look like. But until then, I think it's not going to be very helpful for you to find things. Maybe a more useful thing would be, let me try this. So let's try doing. So you remember when we did concatenate and then back in Visual Studio at the concatenate function?
Yeah.
So let me remember, was it question mark or was it underscore in Purescript? No, it's question mark. Okay. So let's see. Although, can I see it here? Substitute it with. Ooh, where is it? Trying to see if this is a good but this is probably a bad example for it, unfortunately. Empty, max, min, append. Okay, so unfortunately, again, I probably need to talk to somebody about this because this is not great. Like you could use this sort of thing, right? Where this is called a typed whole, right? And you're saying, okay, you can type whatever you want here, right? Because let's say like, okay, you know that you need to transform these two things to string, right?
Yeah.
But you forgot how to concatenate them, basically, right?
Okay.
So you can basically do, okay, this is basically telling the compiler, okay, I know that there should be a function that does this for me, but I don't remember its name. Could you help me? All right. And again, you can type anything here. You just need the question mark at the beginning, right? And then you can type anything after it. And then here in the problems tab, when you compile it, it will tell you, okay, whole AAA has the type string to string to string. So it tells you, okay, I know this needs to be a function from string to string to string, right?
Yeah.
But then it tells you, okay, some of the things that would match that you could use one of these functions here instead of that. And of course, it makes sense, right? So for example, if you have 2 strings, you could pick the one that's lexicographically larger, right? So like if you were to order the strings, you'd take the first one or the last one, right? That would what minimum and maximum would mean, right? If you sorted by name or something, which is here, right? So ord max and ord min, that's what these 2 things mean, right? And then empty means well, I'm not even sure how empty works here.
Is it like the spot in an array or something like that?
Okay, so I'm not even sure how this works out. So it's empty for, that's super weird. Okay, whatever, it doesn't even matter. Empty is the empty. So it would be. Okay, so I guess this would return the empty string, whatever you pass it, right? So if you put empty here, it will just return the empty string. And I think it works because it also uses the empty instance for functions. So it says that, okay, an empty function returns a function that doesn't do anything for this argument, doesn't do anything for this argument, and just returns you the empty string. which is quite useless in this case, right? And then const, I'll always return the first argument. So like all these examples here are pretty terrible, except the last one, which is append, which is exactly what we want, because basically this operator here is exactly append, but as operator instead of function name. But yeah, so unfortunately, what am I shadowing? Okay, I guess add is what I'm shadowing, because add already exists in Prelude or something. Okay, I'm not gonna bother by that error, with that error at least, rather. So yeah, but again, unfortunately for very, very simple functions, it might not even, because like most people expect other people to know these functions, right? And like the typed whole thing works very well when you have something complicated, but you have something simple, somehow it doesn't do very well, at least sometimes. Okay. And again, right, like here as well, right? You have two numbers and you need a boolean. Would it even do something? Like what kind of things would it at least show you the expected? Okay, this seems more reasonable. Let's see. Right, so let's say we don't remember how to compare two numbers, right? For whatever reason. So let's see what are the so it's EQ, which is equal, not EQ, which is not equal, and then greater than, greater or equal. So this is a lot more reasonable as far as sorry. As far as examples go. But again, it doesn't give you the operator version, it just gives you the function names, right? So you'd have to type them manually. But I mean, that's fine. Yeah, we will be using typed holes a lot later, but right now I think it's not necessarily the most useful thing.
No, I do have one more question.
Yeah, sure.
Should I start, like someone mentioned reading a book about this? Should I start?
When you say, let me see. You mean the Purescript book, or what do they mean, or do you know where? I need to read chat a bit.
I'll look for it.
It's easy to find. I guess you can read it. That there's definitely no harm with that. And yeah, if you have questions, you can ask next time for sure. So I have not prepared, because we're getting close to the end now, because we've been at it for almost 2 hours. So. We'll probably stop soon. So I said I'll give you some homework, quote unquote. So I don't have anything prepared right now, but I will definitely write something for you tomorrow, and I'll send it to you tomorrow. I'll just write a few functions, like kind of like how we did these things, where I'll give you some examples of inputs and outputs, and I'll write this thing, and then you have to write this thing, if that makes sense. And you can try figuring them out, and we'll look at them next time, right? There won't be a lot, but I'll also upload this. Are you familiar with Git?
GitHub, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll upload this to GitHub, so you also have it. I'm not sure if you also have it locally, because we're using the share code thing.
Yeah, but I copied and pasted it into my computer anyway, so that's fine.
Okay, cool. I'll also upload it to GitHub anyway, just in case it helps you in any way to have it there.
Also, it was I don't know how to pronounce his name, like Chiroptical, I guess.
Yeah.
He sent the book. He said it was Will Kurtz. I'll look into it.
Oh, okay, then that's a different book than I was thinking about. Yeah, I'll have to reread chat, because I've missed a lot of chat. I think I need to get better at doing both explaining and reading chat, because
I can tell you when people ask stuff.
I mean, okay, functions take inputs and return output. They can be memoized. I like the definition a lot from Will Kurtz's book. I think that might be the book that he was reading at some point, but I think that's a Haskell book, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, I think that's enough for today. So basically, the main takeaway from today's lesson is basically getting very, very like little bit comfortable with like how Purescript looks like. With like simple expressions, ifs, else, thens, with like calling functions using operators, and kind of I wanted to give you the idea of how lambda calculus works, just because it's kind of different than anything else you've probably used so far, right? Because you can partially apply things, right? You can just do 2, even if it takes 3 arguments, you can just pass 2, and then the result is a function. Which is right. It feels pretty weird, but you'll see that it's very, very powerful. You can get a lot of mileage out of doing partial applications and things like that. So that's the basic idea. And next time the plan for next time looks like Haskell. You mean Purescript, the thing that you're reading now? Yeah, it's by design. It's meant to be very, very similar to Haskell, except that it compiles to JavaScript, and it does a very good job at compiling to JavaScript. Yeah. Okay, cool. So next time we will learn more about types and functions and so on, and we'll define our own types and see how that works, how that looks like. Right, and that's what we'll do next week. Okay. Well,
thank you very much, guys. And I'm really impressed by the fact that people didn't really flame me.
Oh, I mean, you know what? I think every single person who was here earlier, and some of them are probably too tired because it's late and will probably watch the VOD, but I think everybody went through exactly what you're going to wear. Wait, this is so weird. I don't understand it, right? So there's so many people who try starting with Haskell or Purescript and give up because it's too hard. And even people who have gone through it, I'm pretty sure they remember the hard times they had in the beginning. So don't worry. If it feels hard, it's normal. It's you need to. I was too stubborn to give up, but I went through that. Yeah, exactly. Like like most people who are doing FP are people who were too stubborn to give up. But
I feel like sometimes one example is not enough. Like I need 2 of them to understand it properly.
And just ask, right? It's no problem. You just tell me, hey, give me one more example, and then I'll do the next one, right? And I'll try to also remember to give you more examples. But yeah, I mean, don't worry. I was not expecting. You did way better than I was expecting, because I know this is very hard for the beginning. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So then I'll see you next week. I'll do my best to give you like some ideas for functions you could implement just to get more to get to try to like get used to all of this. A bit more used, but again, for now I won't give you too much homework now, because you need to you basically need a bit more knowledge to be able to do more homework, right? And also, if you get stuck with something, just message me at any time on Discord or something, and I'll get you unstuck. Cause like don't wait to the point where you're frustrated, right? Because that's not no fun.
No.
So if something doesn't work, just ask, and I'll give you an example, and then we can I'll explain it and so on.
Yeah. Also, I'm very happy I don't have any death threats on my email, so it's fine.
So far.
Yeah.
So the person we're teaching, his name is Andrew, and he has some experience with imperative programming languages, but again, he's quite young, so he's not programmed for a very long time, right? Is that a fair short overview? But yeah, he has no experience with functional languages for sure. And yeah, we're going to be doing this weekly, so yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for being the guinea pig for this sort of stream. Yeah, I really hope you. So again, it's up to me to teach you, but it's also up to you to ask questions and tell me if if things don't make sense, or if you're getting bored and you want more examples, or if you kind of want to go faster or slower or whatever, right? So I'll try to adapt by as much as possible. Again, please feel free, because this is not a one-man show. It definitely the most important thing above all is to be able to teach you something, right? That's what I care most, because if you're learning, then maybe other people in chat are also learning. So okay, cool. So yeah, I think that's it for now. And again, the first lessons are probably going to be a bit more confusing, right? Because it's kind of a lot of new concepts, and it's hard to introduce them without connecting to other things that you also don't know. So hopefully, as we go, we will fill up some of the blanks, and then it will start making more and more sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay then. Well, I guess that's it. So thank you very much for dropping by, and yeah, we'll continue next week.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.